Senator Ike EKWEREMADU, his wife, his daughter, and his doctor has been found guilty of organ trafficking in the UK. For those that don't really know the story, EKWEREMADU and his wife were last year arrested in the United Kingdom for allegedly trafficking a young man into the country to harvest his kidney for his sick daughter. His sick daughter that dropped out from school has had kidney failure for some time, so he needed a kidney transplant, and he facilitated the young man's traveling documents with the view of exploiting the young man for a kidney transplant for his sick daughter Sonia. So guys, before I continue with the real thing, with the real gist, let me just officially welcome you guys to my channel. You are highly welcome. If you're seeing my video for the first time, if you're seeing my channel for the first time, you're welcome to my channel, and please do well to subscribe, turn on your notification bell for more interesting videos and updates, like and share my video. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys. Are really amazing. Thank you. So guys, what we do in this channel is we give you life in style in the UK. We give you immigration tips. We give you whatever is happening in the UK currently. So if it's what interests you, please subscribe and let me know in the comment section what you think about it. Let me know your opinion, because I really appreciate opinion here. So guys, in this particular video, the former Deputy Senate President in Nigeria, Ike EKWEREMADU, that is 60-year-old, alongside with his wife Beatrice, which is 55 years old, and their daughter Sonia, and their doctor as well, Obinna, facilitated the whole traveling plan and agreed to offer the 21-year-old man, who was a seller on the street of Lagos, some juicy offers. And according to the young man, he did not know that that was why he was brought to the UK, and he did not know it was brought to the UK for the purpose of getting his organ transplants for his daughter Sonia. So when he got to the UK, that was when he raised the alarm. And as we all know, UK, they don't take this for granted at all. So he was arrested last year. The young man was said to have been falsely presented as Sonia's cousin in a bid to persuade doctors to carry out an £8,000 private procedure in one of the hospitals in London. According to the news, this case marks the first time defendants have been convicted under the Modern Slavery Act of an organ harvesting conspiracy. But though we know that it is lawful to donate a kidney, but it becomes a criminal if money or other materials advantage is rewarded, and if it is not done properly through the normal government procedures. And we all know that this one was different as well, because the young man was offered a £7,000 along with the promise of a better life in the UK. Though the donor, according to him, said he did not understand it until his first appointment with a consultant at the hospital that he was there for a kidney transplant. And even while he was doing the consultation, he never knew that that was what was going to happen until the hospital concluded the donor was not an appropriate candidate. After learning he had no counseling or advice about the risk of surgery, and also lacked funds for the lifelong care he would need. When the young man realized that, he ran away from London and slept rough for days before walking into a police station crying and was in distress. And that was when police made an arrest and more investigations to find out if that was true. And before then, when the transplant bid fell, the EKWEREMADUs allegedly turned their attention to Turkey in a bid to find more potential donors. So if the boy did not raise alarm, they would have gotten another person for this same job, for this same transplant or organ harvesting.
Former Deputy President of the Senate, Ike EKWEREMADU, his wife Beatrice, and a doctor, Obinna, have been found guilty of facilitating the travel of a young man to Britain with a view to exploiting him. According to the London court, the three persons criminally conspired to bring the 21-year-old Lagos street trader to London to exploit him for his kidney. Their daughter, Sonia EKWEREMADU, was however found not guilty. The prosecutor, Hugh Davis, KC, told the court the EKWEREMADUs and Dr. Obeta had treated the man and other potential donors as disposable assets. It's the first verdict of its kind under the UK Modern Slavery Act. Let's now go over to London, where our correspondent, Juliana Olayinka, who's been following this case, will be bringing us an update. Hello, Juliana.
Hi,
hello, Juliana.
Hi, Bukola, from the Old Bailey in London, where, as you just pointed out, we had a mammoth update from what I can only describe as an absolutely chaotic trial involving the former Deputy Senate President Ike EKWEREMADU and 3 other defendants. 3 of them have been convicted by the 12 men and women that make up the jury. They were all found guilty, as you said, of the first case of its kind in the United Kingdom, this Modern Slavery Act. Let's just cast our minds back, shall we? Because it has been a case that has stirred 2 nations, Nigeria and the United Kingdom. And I can tell you, we've just missed the pack of press that were here. All major British establishments have been following this pretty convoluted case during the trial. So many individuals, so many names were presented to the jury, many of whom British citizens that were in Nigeria and couldn't be traced. But this is all about Sonia EKWEREMADU, the 25-year-old daughter of the senator who has a debilitating kidney disease. She was found not guilty today. And in fact, when the jury were reading out the verdict, she wept profusely when she found out that she could walk freely from court. Not her daughter, not her mother, though, Beatrice EKWEREMADU, the 56-year-old accountant. She has been found guilty of being part of this organ harvesting plot. That was in the public domain summer last year when we found out that the EKWEREMADUs were arrested en route back from Turkey to Heathrow Airport. We were then told that a young individual who still cannot be named for legal reasons was plucked from the streets of Lagos by who we know was Obinna Obeta. Obinna Obeta has been found guilty today. He was based in the United Kingdom working under the books. I think it was reported earlier that he was a general practitioner, but now, of course, that the verdict has come in, I can give you more details about the case. This Obinna Obeta, who was a significant middleman in facilitating the travel and the exploitation. And unfortunately for the EKWEREMADUs, we can say exploitation because they have been found guilty of these crimes under the laws of England and Wales. He was working alongside Diwe EKWEREMADU, who is still very much wanted by British police. He is in Nigeria. He is a brother of the senator, an old classmate of Obinna Obeta. Obinna Obeta, this 50-year-old gentleman who was working in the United Kingdom illegally, had a kidney transplant of his own. And the kidney transplant that Obinna Obeta had was donated by a friend of this alleged victim who we cannot name. And in fact, we no longer calling him an alleged victim. He is a victim of exploitation, and KC Hugh Davis was successfully able to convince the court, convince the jurors that the senator knew exactly all along what he was doing, that he used his power, he used his might, and he used his wealth of contacts to exploit this individual, using him as a commodity. So what they've been accused of and convicted of is criminally conspiring to bring this individual to London. He was taken from where he was working as a market trader to Abuja for tests. This victim claims he was never ever told that he was going to be donating his kidney. He was offered an opportunity to restart his life in London by Obinna Obeta, who lured him into the British capital, offering an opportunity for work. It was whilst he was here and he was brought into this country by the EKWEREMADUs. It was whilst he was here that he said he was basically treated like a slave. He was taken into the Royal Free Hospital in Hampstead, where doctors were suspicious. In fact, Bukola, you know, the case is so convoluted and complex, and it involved so many people, including an interpreter who was paid, I believe, £1,500 by the EKWEREMADUs to try and convince or persuade doctors that this young man knew exactly what he was doing. Of course, alarm bells were raised very, very quickly, even though lies were told to try and convince doctors that this individual was a distant cousin of Sonia EKWEREMADU. They didn't believe that was to be the case. When this individual told Dr. Obinna that his donation wasn't to be successful, he said he was then treated very much like a slave. He had to run away. He spent 3 days homeless, roaming the streets of London until he handed himself into Staines police station in Surrey in South London. This is still very much a developing story. Although we have been covering the case over the past 7 weeks, we've been in court throughout the trial. Unfortunately, we were not in court today. It was only Monday that the judge was giving his directives to the jurors. The jurors retired on Tuesday. It took them less than 14 hours to make this conviction. And so it's